Are you ready to be the best that you can be? Join hybrid business coach and consultant Charity Brown and her guest as they give you behind-the-scenes access to the insider tips and tricks that will help you take your business to the next level. Charity has an extraordinary approach to boosting businesses to break out of their modes, influence their industries, and become leaders of their packs. And she's ready to pass this inspiring knowledge on to you today. Learn how to change your game and build your business into what you've always dreamed of, right here on the Create Clarity with Charity podcast.
Hello and welcome to Create Clarity with Charity. Today I have a beautiful guest, Miss Allyson Chavez of AllysonChavez.com, inspirational, motivational, transformational coach that has all the answers to help us live our best life. Hi, Allison.
Charity. Oh, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited for this conversation we're going to have.
Yes, me too, because we need to really bring to light for all the girls and ladies out there that are aspiring entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs, really tapping into their calling. They really need to hear from you. You have a powerful message and you've really done the work. So I definitely want people to be able to get a hold of you and check out your awesome events and your books and programs and everything. So let's start by talking about you though, because you are so amazing. And like a lot of us, you've made it through the storm, right? Entrepreneurism isn't simple. It's not rainbows and unicorns, even though it sounds lovely if it was, but
I know, really right? I think we're a special kind of crazy, quite honestly, to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's a lot of risk involved and there's a lot of moving parts, and not a lot of support sometimes unless you're very blessed and lucky to have a great family and support system. But for most of us, it's usually like, not a very supported idea to just
at least not at first. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So let's talk about your entrepreneurial spirit. I know you've been kind of firecracker entrepreneur for a long time, over 10 years, right? You've really been getting your hands dirty in the field. You are seeing what coaching is really about and helping hundreds, maybe even thousands of people with your events. So let's go back, to the beginning of time when you first started desiring to be your own boss, start your own business.
Oh man, when I first started, I was petrified, quite honestly. I was in a pretty solid job and I was super, super bored there. And I was having all of these ideas come and these little promptings and nudges. And I was like, I don't know how I would do that though. And so I shut it down for like 4 years. And I was so incredibly bored. And I finally got a huge nudge in the form of a spiritual, 2x4 that whacks you across your eyes. And I lost my brother very suddenly. And I really felt like God was using me as a science experiment, kind of actually. Like there were so many disappointments that year. And I was wanting to grow, but so absolutely, I was terrified out of my mind to do it wrong or to make mistakes or to waste money or to not have enough money. And, and then my brother died and I felt like God had just like kind of walked away laughing a little bit. And it got me really mad. And I actually went into a really dark space for probably close to a year. It was really interesting because as I was finally like ready to look at alternative things, God like put people in my path that were leading me exactly in the direction I needed to go. And I didn't even realize it at the time. I just knew my heart hurt so badly that I needed some relief. And for me, I didn't want to do traditional medicine or traditional talk therapy. That just didn't resonate with me at the time. And so all of these wonderful alternatives came during that time. And I actually was introduced to energy work, and there's so many different modalities. And I was so fascinated by it and I wanted to learn how to do it, but I was so afraid that again, I would do it wrong. But it got to the point where I told my husband, it just sings to me all day long. It's always singing to me and I need to follow it and see where it leads. And I ended up at this 4-day training. And like by day 2, I just knew I had found my place. I didn't feel like I was lost anymore. Like the heavens opened and the angels sang. And I had this thought, you need to learn this and you need to teach this to others and you need to create a business with this and it needs to be online.
Yay.
And this is 10 years ago. And I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And because I had healed enough during that time and, and I'd made my peace with God and we were on speaking terms again and, and all the things. I was really finally ready to just step forward, even though it was all unknown. I had no idea. I didn't feel like I had any business, owning a business or starting a business, but I just knew that was my next step. I just knew it. And so I moved forward.
That's awesome. So audience out there, like one of my big things is that, get mentorship, get coaching, get a program, do something that's going to unstuck you. Right. Like that really just people can stay stuck in loss, and loss, especially mourning, can last years,
decades,
so many years. And if we don't deal with it properly, it can really affect every element in our life. And a lot of people don't realize that when they're stuffing those feelings of loss and they're not dealing with that it actually comes out in other areas of life, like finance and relationships and communication and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so now you specialize in that because you understand how bad it hurts, to hit rock bottom and to lose someone you love dearly and to feel like maybe you have lost in life at some point and kind of feeling like you want to give up a bit.
Oh yeah.
And then getting back at an amazing event like that will just relight that passion and fire inside when you can start believing in yourself again. And so I love that story because it's really important for the listeners to know how important having a coach and having those kinds of events, and you put those on, which is so amazing. So we're going to lead into that, but it's very important because you offer even free events, weekend boot camps, 3-day master classes and things that really shift people's perspective from feeling totally defeated, burnt out, fed up and done to feeling like you did when you decided to turn that business switch back on. Right.
Yes. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Favorite thing.
Restore the soul. Right.
Yes. It's unlike anything else I've ever experienced. It's so amazing to see women that just light up and they're like, I feel so relieved. There's nothing wrong with me. I've never looked at it this way before. It's so beautiful to see the light come back on for women. Yeah.
And you're planting that seed in a huge way. I mean, that's key as well. People have these podcasts and now amazing events like that, like you put on, and they don't even have to hire a coach, and they're getting that high level information that we paid tens of thousands of dollars for, right?
Or so hundreds of thousands,
hundreds of thousands. Yeah. So it's kind of a gift that you're giving out that people don't understand the value of yet because they haven't ever had to pay for it. So everyone's kind of spoiled with this new wave of self-help and podcasts and events.
I agree. And here's the thing, and we're taught from our own business mentors and, and you mentor women and I mentor women that it's you want to give really, really valuable things for free for people to know that you know what you're talking about and for people to just have that sampling from you. But what I found for myself, and I don't know, maybe you found this as well, you can only go so far in free. You can only go so far when you don't have skin in the game. And that's why I spun myself for so many years, because I was afraid to waste money. I was afraid that I wouldn't get an ROI. I was afraid I would make a mistake. And I just spun. I spun and I was scared and I would second guess. And I made it so much harder than it needed to be because I was holding so tight onto money and onto fear, quite honestly. But free's only going to get you so far. And it's the people that have financial skin in the game, because that's how we get you to show up. That's how you'll show up for yourself. You're going to, if you buy $1,000 pair of, Louis Vuitton shoes or, Manalo, I don't remember what they're called, but you buy $1,000 pair of shoes, you're going to take care of those shoes. You're going to wear those shoes because you invested money. You spent $10 on a pair of shoes. You'll walk in the mud with them. You'll toss them in the garbage. You'll lose them, but you're more invested when you have financial skin in the game.
Very true. And that's one of the things in my mindset shift, just to get people to buy into the programs, you have to tap into that I'm worth it. I'm investing in me. Okay.
Yes.
You would not believe how hard it is to get people to believe they're worth it. That they're the investment. When it's like, hello, oh, I'm the investment. Well, I should be able to get that. It's for me, right? I mean, but no, everyone's like, no, I just can't. I just can't justify that expense.
I think especially women, I've noticed this with women a whole lot more than men. Men will invest in coaching. They'll invest in a lawnmower if it's going to mow the lawn easier and faster for them. They'll invest without really even thinking twice about it. But women run these weird programs and have this weird conditioning, like they have to come last. And like somehow if they invest in themselves, it's going to take away from their children, or it's going to take away from their spouse, or take away from their loved ones. And that with the exact opposite is what happens because of how we're designed as women. Like we're radiant and we get filled up, and then that radiance and that joy just naturally spills out of us. And so it blesses everyone around us. But we just have this backwards conditioning that if we invest in ourselves, we're selfish and it's going to take from somebody else. And that just isn't true.
Yeah. So I hope all the ladies out there hear that. You're worth it. Hello, invest. You're worth it.
And everybody else will be blessed because of it too. Like it's not just for you. It'll bless everybody around you.
Yes. And having that self-love for yourself, there is no price on that. So there should be no price tag. If it's going to make you happy, if it's going to help you push you to open that new business, to start that new e-business, to put yourself out there and get that sales coach or that business coach or whatever, is worth it if it's going to better your life. So that's why I just love supporting you, Allison, because that's what you radiate. You literally, I was listening to your event this weekend and you just come with the fire. Okay. You there's no turning you down. It's all the way up. If you want to hear the truth on blast, Allison has like a way to shift you from feeling kind of that, maybe not best self, right? Like that's what you focus on mostly, right? Is helping people get to their best self.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And their best life. Because when you're shifting into your best self, you will shift into your best life. It's part of the package.
Yes. So let's talk about that. I want to bring up your website, AllisonChavez.com, and let's talk about the amazing offers that you have and all this super great stuff that you're doing. I just love it. So, and it's Allison, AllyssonChavez.com. And she has many courses on reaching the next level of your success and prosperity. So let's talk about some of the amazing things that's going on here.
Well, I love to do my prosperity experience workshop. It's called Success Without Struggle. And it's 3 days where we learn specifically as women how to lead in our empowered feminine energy. It's where we learn how money actually works on an energetic level, feminine level, and a spiritual level. Also learning about how to live in the right state of mind, no matter what is going on. And it is critical. Oh, take a look at me back before I was my best self.
Oh my gosh, that's you. I didn't even recognize you. You are all crying there.
That was when, oh man, I was in so much struggle. I remember that day. I was so defeated that day and I was ready to just throw in the towel of everything. And I snapped that picture and I sent it to my husband and I'm like, I'm ready to be done with my business and with absolutely everything.
I love that. We all need to go back and have that 10-year anniversary with who we were 10 years ago. And just be so grateful that we can evolve.
I know, right?
You don't have to stay stuck there.
No, you don't. But we're taught about the struggle and that there's value in struggle and there really isn't. And so I like to, that's my passion, is to teach women that we don't have to struggle our way to that next level of success. We're not designed to struggle our way. The challenge is necessary. The challenge is definitely necessary. We have to go through those turbulent times because of who we become through it and because of it. And so there is immense value in the challenge, but there's no value in struggle. You don't move forward when you're in struggle. You just spin in circles and get more and more frustrated.
Yeah.
And so So that is my mission, is to end the struggle and to bring joy to the lives of 1 million women around the globe. Because I know if I touch one woman, I'll actually influence an entire generation, because that's how powerful we are as women.
Yes. And then we can heal the earth too, because once we're healed and our hearts are healed, we're just going to be radiating all this love and this, gratitude. And then the earth will start healing and we can live in a much nicer place.
Sure.
So it's very altruistic what you're doing, because it's a ripple effect is insane. It's very beautiful. So yes, success without struggle, the experiment. When's the next one start?
So we got the next one coming in May 2nd, and they're totally free. And you get a playbook with it. And you get, like, I tell everybody I'm allergic to fluff. And so this is not just some like cream puff that cotton balls I'm just going to toss at you, because like you said, I'm fire. I really am. And I want things that are going to make a difference in your life. I don't believe in the theory of prosperity. I believe in the practical application of prosperity. And so I got to teach you what the application of prosperity is. We hear all about mindset. We hear about living in the right state of mind. Well, what does that look like on an everyday basis? What does that sound like? What are some tools that I can actually use right here, right now, that I don't have to print out a worksheet and then fill out the worksheet? What can I do right now that it will get me into thinking prosperously instead of thinking positively? And so that's what we do for the week together, is just give you tools that I personally used, that got me out of the suffering, that got me out of the struggle, that got me out of the financial mess I had created in building my business. I won't lie about that. I ran my business into the ground and it ended in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. But oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed. I don't recommend it for other people. But it was what I needed to finally get those last few pieces to the prosperity puzzle to fit. And then I started exploding in the best way, and so fast. And there was such exponential growth. And that's what I teach. I teach leading with the feminine. I teach how money actually works and how to change your subconscious beliefs. And that's what we do in our free 3-day workshop. So, oh my gosh, it's so fun.
Abundance is alive.
It is. And well, even in today's day and age, when the whole world is so bound up in fear, we can't afford to go there. If there's one thing you can't afford, it's that.
Yeah. And that's the one thing, about business. It's not a hobby. So when money's involved, we need to really have a good relationship with it, have a good belief about it. And if we don't, we need to fix it.
Yes.
And it is something that can be fixed. It's kind of like you were saying, from a very young age, we are instilled with these beliefs about money, like, more money, more problems. Work harder, not smarter. There's always like these kind of negative connotations, the filthy loot, they always like make it this dirty, bad thing.
I know. Filthy rich. Are you kidding me?
Filthy rich.
No way. I'm clean rich.
I know. Seriously. Like, I wash my money, I'm just kidding. There's, being in finance and accounting for so many years. I've heard so many things like, the money's the root of all evil. And I always thought, like, I'm not an evil person, but I'm in charge of like billions of dollars. Like, that doesn't make me evil. But a lot of times I had that negative belief cycle in my head, thinking that just because that was like my profession, that I was like, the devil or something, or part of the kingdom of hell, because I'm in charge of all this money. So like, I'm a bad person now. And I literally had to go through that process of like forgiving myself for thinking that and holding me down in this limited mindset, because everyone in society and just in time kind of like creates these wrong beliefs about money and abundance.
Yep.
So I recognize that you were talking about that this weekend, and I just had to say something about it, because I totally felt that way too.
Yeah. Well, and how could you not? Especially in accounting.
Yeah.
Wow. Or like, even if you don't subscribe to money is the root of all evil, but money is a necessary evil. Holy cow. What?
Yeah.
What? And it creates so much internal conflict with all of us, because secretly we love it. Let's admit it. Money, we can trade money for really glorious things. I keep looking at your scarf. I love it so much.
Yeah. And it was free, but it looks rich. So
it is rich. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Right. You're a wonderful receiver, but like the things we can trade for money bring us joy, and they bring us growth, and it's all of that. And so then we're in this awful conflict, because secretly we love it, but then we are resentful of it, and we have to hate it, but we really need it. We just, we tie ourselves into knots around money, and we've got to untie the knots. We've got to.
Yes. And I love that because we really align in that way, because that's the key to, I mean, money's a tool. Like, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be this horrible struggle. It's like, we all need it. We all need it to survive. And it's just how, available are we to receive it? And have we removed the negative blocks that are blocking it? So get with Allison on that. She'll do some woo-woo magical mind Jedi tricks, and all of a sudden, no.
I'll do that and then give you practical tools to anchor it in, and then you'll implement it and things will change. That's how it works.
That's right. You've got to believe. So that's the whole thing about money. You got to believe, what you're doing is you're commanding that. So that's cool. Yeah. All right. So that's the first awesome May 5th. So that's couple months away.
May 2nd. Yeah.
Or May 2nd. May 2nd. Yes.
It's first Monday in May.
Yes. First Monday in May. You can all, find out what the formula to rising up is, being stepping away from mediocrity and sustaining success and really reaching for what you want. I love everything that you have written here. So everyone, please go to her site again, AllysonChavez.com, and it's Rise Up Mentoring Group under, let's see, the experiment. Yes.
Or it might be under Rise Up.
And Rise Up. Yes. Yes. So there's some other amazing things. You wrote a book as well, right?
I did. Yes. It's called The Prosperity Approach.
Yes. And we all need to be more prosperous. So tell us about that.
So the prosperity approach really is the foundation that you must build on. And so I actually wrote the prosperity approach when I was in the middle of the struggle and of the challenge. And I write about what I learned during that time and the tools that I actually learned. I mean, people understand principles in an ethereal way, but we need to get them grounded. So I talk about gratitude and how to actually use gratitude as a tool, because most people use gratitude as a weapon, or they use gratitude as a way to manipulate their circumstances, which is not how gratitude is best used. And so there are lots of practical application, lots of hands-on things that I write about in that book that I did that helped me to stay steady in times of turbulence and was foundational for the work that I'm doing now.
That's lovely. Yeah. And getting stuck in, I mean, we can all talk about money woes as entrepreneurs, owning restaurants and lottery facilities at a huge fiduciary responsibility. And it was a cash cow, but it was like very small margins, right? So we were always hustling to make payroll and hustling to pay the overhead. And there's always this fight or flight, do or die, like, this just insane fire just burning right under my fanny at all times in regards to money. And it's exhausting. And it really, it gets to be almost like an inner war, because now we're like trying to like save everyone's jobs, plus keep the household, and getting into that mad spiral and cycle of like always feeling like there's lack, right? Mm-hmm. So I know you go into a lot of training with people that are feeling that state of lack and desperation and kind of urgency, and like how to kind of reframe all that.
Yeah. And here's what I have found about that. People think that they are wanting financial freedom and financial liberation. And what they actually want is financial relaxation. And so it does not matter how much money you have in the bank. If you are stressed out about money, you might as well have none. And so that's what I help. It's not to get to the point so you can actually pay your bills. It's a little bit beyond that, but it's like getting you into a state of financial relaxation, no matter what is going on, and understanding that it's not about having more money. It's about the wise and productive use of the money that you have, which will then bring more to you. Mm-hmm. And I teach the inner game strategies in my Rise Up group mentoring program.
Yeah. The inner game. So yeah, the mindset shifts to take you from feeling that stress and just releasing and letting that go, and and not kind of spiraling into the tornado of what ifs, right?
Oh, I know, it's horrible.
Yeah. And I think so, just if people are having a hard time recognizing what we're talking about, that's what we're talking about, is that mad cycle of worry, not enough, negative self-talk, feeling, undervalued and underpaid and resentful about the money, and harboring these energies within you. And that is the block. right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And people think that they can do positive thinking and get their way out of that with positive thinking, and it won't. Most people they've dialed in positive thinking. They don't know about prosperity thinking. And prosperity thinking is completely different from positive thinking. Prosperity thinking is a skill. It's a practical skill, and good heavens, it's a life skill that most people don't even know about today. But you have to change the way that you view and you process and you approach life. And it takes a skill to that. You have to have deliberate, consistent application of spiritual and mental laws in order to do that. And that's what I'm talking about with those inner game strategies, especially women that are just starting in business. They think it's all strategy. And there's about 5% strategy and 95% mindset to it. So yeah, the strategies are important, but they're not the end all be all. And that's where we go off the rails really, really quickly. You got to dial in on your inner game first and skill up there. And then the strategies that will work will come to you. And the strategies get to be really, really simple. But you got to skill up here first, because it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you're in lack, you will always feel in lack, because now you're going to be afraid that you'll lose it. That's what I went through. Yeah. I had no money and I was afraid we never had money. Then we had a ton of money and then I was afraid I would lose money. So I was always in fear where money was concerned until I learned how to think prosperously.
Yeah. Just like belief, the images, believing, knowing your core outcome, what it looks like, know that you're just abundantly blessed, just know that there is no lack and just remove it. Right. Is that, I mean,
well, yeah. But then we go, well, okay, well, how do we do that? You know, it's like, okay, yeah, I know I need to believe it. How do I actually believe when everything tells me I shouldn't believe?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's overcoming that hurdle and understanding how to navigate through that and dissolving that hurdle. I saw that you brought up 52 ways. This is one of the really great things that
can we fix all of our problems right here with this 52 ways to dissolve fear and scarcity?
Well, you can definitely get a head start on it. Okay. It's going to solve everything. No, because you're not changing your subconscious beliefs in this guide yet, but you got to get a baseline first to where you're feeling safe no matter what's going on. And so that's why I created the prosperity guide. They're fun, easy, fast techniques and exercises and games that you can play just within yourself that are going to help you get out of fear, get out of overwhelm and struggle, and really start creating success without the struggle. And they're super down to earth. And
you guys, you can download it here for, but is it free? Yes,
free.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Oh my gosh. You can get some major answers right here on the prosperityapproach.com for the prosperity guide. It's an amazing treat. Just get your guide now and we'll discover how to break free from our fear and struggle and live our life with love and abundance. Yay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful,
that's at prosperityapproach.com/52 ways. So it's 50 different exercises ways you can do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that is, such a great place you came from, because we have to hit our low lows, our valley lows, and being there and having to be in the shoes of somebody that's pretty much just done, fed up, walking away from their dream, claiming bankruptcy, moving on, and having like that, rude awakening. It's like that's a shift. But to decide that you're not going to go down that road for a year, that you literally change your trajectory within a year, right? It was like,
I changed it within 6 months.
Within 6 months.
I changed it within 6 months.
You literally took action and said, that's not going to be my story. Failure happens to everybody, but I'm not going to stay stuck there. And so that's even more the reason why to get this book, you guys, because she actually went from feeling that way and that reality into making multiple 6 figures within 6 months of changing her business. And so she knows the drill. She's just not preaching what she doesn't know. So it's an amazing thing. So I can't recommend her enough. I'm actually going to download this and read this as well, because we all need new insights every day. I feel like I come from an abundant state of mind now, but I've had my hardships too, and I started my business with $200 in the bank, and I was like, it's do or die. This is like business number 25. Like it's going to work.
You got the entrepreneur spirit.
Oh, we just keep turning those wheels. I'll have to kill me to stop me, right? So if you just learn to fail really good and get back up, everybody will be fine. And get this 52 steps too, because fearing that failure and not being supported and like not having the money, like it does come back. It's all in our head. Like just allow it. So I love that you also, resonate in the hearts of women, because it is kind of a different animal for women to be the owner, to be the businesswoman, to own their business, to be the boss. And we all need to boss up and own what feels good to us. If we have a passion, go out there and start a business, right? You're passionate about helping people, and you've written books now and developed programs to fuel the fire. So I really love that. So tell us some of your most inspirational, what you do now, what you know now that you didn't know when you started. Something that just sticks out. Like, it's just like, if I could have just told myself that.
Do you know what? It's the power of decision. If I had understood the power of decision when I first started, it would have completely launched me in a very different, it would have launched me higher, faster, and I wouldn't have dropped out of the sky. I would have just continued to go. And so here's the thing about decisions. Most people have a very hard time making decisions and making decisions quickly, but very successful people make decisions quickly, and they make the decisions all the time because of the perspective about decisions. People who are in struggle, and this is where I started when I was so afraid to make a decision because I thought I would make the wrong decision. Successful people make decisions quickly and they make them right. They don't hope that they're making the right decision. They trust that what they're feeling is the right and the best next step for them to take, and they take it. And they trust that their higher power or their sense of intuition or whatever will let them know if they're on the wrong path. It's not going to be 3 years down the wrong path before they understand that they're on the wrong path. Like, they trust that if they've made a decision that's not the best decision, that information will be delivered to them quickly. And that stops lots of women from starting their businesses because they're afraid they're going to do the wrong thing.
Yeah. So even more the reason to have a coach or a consultant or somebody who has
oh my gosh. Yes. Do not try to build a business on your own. You will waste so much time and so much money and have a huge exercise in frustration if you try to build a business on your own, because building a business is the most intense and wonderful personal development program you will ever have, because your demons slap you in the face almost instantly. And so invest in a business coach right from the get-go, somebody who is successful, somebody who knows the strategies. I actually did do that. It was one of the scariest investments I ever made. Oh my gosh, Charity. It was like $500 a month.
And I was like, God, that's nothing. I was like, you say 5,000 or 50. And you're like,
oh, I mean, my gosh, I'm now paying a whole lot more than $500 a month for my business mentor. but yeah, I start where you're at, but get somebody who knows what they're doing and can help you to actually set up the systems in your business and the structure in your business so that you're not just throwing mud against the wall, hoping some of it will stick. That is the greatest investment. If you are looking to start a business, get yourself a mentor. Holy cow. And then understand that success, to make the journey a whole lot easier, decisions are not to do something. It's decisions about things. And I kept making decisions about what was happening to me that were not helping me. So if I would have a failure, the decision I had made about the failure was that there was something wrong with me. Instead of, I didn't execute that strategy quite like they told me to execute it. So there was room for improvement. It's a decision about failure. What does failure mean about whatever? Failure is such magnificent feedback, because nothing is ever a 100% failure. There's always something that worked. There's always something that helped push the needle just a tiny bit forward. And you celebrate that first. And then, all right, what can we improve on? What do we want to change next time? What do we want to kick out for next time? And just understanding, if you will have a student's and a learner's mindset where it's just teach me because I want to improve. Holy cow. Then you'll allow yourself to take risks. You'll allow yourself to make mistakes, and you will spare yourself the years of agony that I put myself through because of the decisions that I was making about what was happening.
Yeah.
It's all for your good. Just decide only good can come of this. This is all for my good. This is all to help me grow. And I'm not saying that it's not going to be painful. 150 grand in debt, everybody. And 90,000 of it was on credit cards as I was trying to build my business. That was painful. That was really painful. But when I made the decision that everything was happening happening for me. Nothing was happening to me.
Yeah.
That was huge. That was huge.
That failure was your best learning lesson, because now look at you. There's no stopping. You know all the stumbling blocks now. You found it out for all of us and you're sharing. So we won't do it.
Well, I found out my fair share so that you won't make the same mistakes that I did. I'm not going to say I found out all of
not
it,
all of them, but
certainly enough to help create a shortcut for somebody else so they don't have to go off the same cliffs that I did. If you'll just make a decision about what things mean, and you'll be able to navigate through those hard times, because I mean, Charity, and you can vouch for this, like it is not easy to build a business. It's not, but there can be ease. It can be done with ease, even in those rough times. Like you find out, I mean, I call them angel messengers, clients that are difficult. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones we learn from. We don't learn from our favorite clients that we love to bits.
Yeah,
we learn from the ones that like give us pushback, and we learn what boundaries are and how to hold our boundaries and how to say what needs to be said and say it in a way where they can hear it. And also understanding what your part is and their part is. I mean, there's bumps along the way. I scrape my knees and I scrape my elbows, and I don't know of one successful entrepreneur who hasn't.
Yeah.
So that's just part of the game.
Yeah. It's a rough sport, it really is.
It is. But there's so much fulfillment to it.
Yes.
Like I would never work for anybody else.
Yeah.
Ever. No. There's just too much fulfillment.
Once you're an entrepreneur and you've been successful at it, and you understand the gains and the cash flow and the freedom, it's all about freedom. Like if you set yourself up for freedom within your business, you will love the rest of your life. It's just like the best. And you can explore your creative. So I love that. I love, that you've taken all that and put that into an amazing program, books and strategies for us. So it's a real blessing, Allison. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience? I was looking for your Instagram, but I guess we'll just stay on your site. So it's all good. Do you have any words?
You know what I would say to somebody who's just beginning in business, the most helpful mantra is only good can come of this. And everything is happening for me. Everything is working out for me. Everything is always working for me. If I had learned that and really started implementing that, and that's what you do. Like that is the one inner game strategy to start with, is only good can come of this, and everything is always working out for me. So when you're in that turbulent time, and when you're like, holy crap, I'm going to put this on my credit card and clench my butt, and here we go. Only good can come of this. Everything always works out for me. And say that hundreds and hundreds of times throughout the day until you feel that peace and you feel that calm, and you will shift your perspective so quickly, and you will grow so fast, and your business will too. And you'll love it. You'll love it as you go. And that's the most important thing, is that you love it as you go.
Amen to that. And that you can do in your power hour in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, our audience, really being able to step into your power and say that everything works out for me in the mirror today. High five yourself and say, I know yesterday was tough, but everything's going to work out for me today. So, and we can believe in ourselves. That's a gift that we have. We have the power to do that. So I love that, Allison. Thanks for igniting that fire in all of us. I can't wait.
Be on.
I can't wait to log on into the May event. Looks really fun.
Oh, I'd love to have you. Holy cow, we would love to play with you there. Change your life there if you'll let us.
Yes. I have to be open, receptive, and not have 15 podcasts booked. And then I'll be ready. I think by then I'll be on season 2, so it'll be okay.
Beautiful.
Cool. Well, I loved having you today. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom and your sight and all your awesome tools that you've created for us. It's a real gift.
And Charity, thank you for creating this whole place where we can come and talk and have these conversations. I know you are doing so much good in the world. And so it's just an honor for me to be on your podcast. And I thank you for having me on, and for all that you're doing in the world, because it's all good.
Yes, I hope we're changing lives right now. Hello.
We are.
That's my place now. So I love that. Thank you for coming on. And I hope to chat with you more about helping people shift.
That's right. We got it.
Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Ciao.